Hello everybody, my name is Amy. Welcome to my channel, Snow Canyon Stitcher. This is Flosstube number 52. I'm returning after a few weeks with a couple of FFOs and one finish. And this is just to give an update on what I've been working on this past few weeks and to share my finishes. I am super excited. I want to thank everybody who is subscribed to my channel. Thank you for returning and spending some time with me. And I want to welcome anybody new to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. And I hope that I inspire you with something that I'm working on or something that I finished. This is a channel about cross stitch. So welcome. It's going to be kind of probably a short video because I don't really have that many whips that I've been working on. Although I've been stitching every day, I just don't feel like I have a lot finished. So it makes for a short video. But anyway, we'll get right into it. I have an FFO, and I am so happy to share. And Tong is finished. Finally. Oh, she is all done. And this frame fits perfectly. And honestly, I didn't have that much trouble getting it in the frame because of the short sides, the sides where I'd cut it quite narrow. So I am super glad that I went ahead and finished it instead of restarting it. I had forgot to mention when I had shared it as a part of my whip go, and I just had a little bit left to do. I had forgot to mention that this center basket right here, this whole center basket, I had stitched it, and I had put it away for a while, and then I went back to work on it again, and I noticed that my basket was not centered. If I can find a video clip where I'm sharing it and it's off center, I had to rip the entire basket out and restitch it. Yeah, so I don't know, I wasn't paying attention, and it was just as clear as day. It was over under this yellow flower. Or maybe it was in between, but it wasn't centered. It's supposed to be centered with this flower right here. But I pretty much almost had the entire basket. I think these two side flowers here weren't stitched yet. But anyway, yeah, restitched that, but she's all done. And I'm super happy with her. I plan on starting, is it Isabella Uvendale? I think that's the name of the one. And I'm almost sure that I have a lot of thread left. And I'm almost sure that a lot of the threads that I used in here, some of them are in the Isabella. So that's gonna be nice to have that. So there it is. Let's see if I can get her all the way. I don't think I can get her all the way in the frame. But I am super happy with this. So that's the very first Hands Across the Sea. Sorry, I bumped the thing. I think that's my first Hands Across the Sea sampler. My second FFO, is it finished? It's not an FFO because I still have to stitch the inside what do you call it? Felt. I've stitched the felt in it, but Carla, you had given me this pattern. You had sent me this pattern, and I was determined to make a needle book out of it. And so I didn't put the border around it. It's supposed to have a border around it. And I just opted not to put the border around it. And then I just turned it into a needle book. And I still need to sew this. So you can't sew this on the machine because the stitches would go through. so you have to stitch it by hand. But I tried to model it like the one you did. Mine doesn't look near as beautiful as the one you made, but I am happy with it, and I think he is the cutest little rabbit. He has an eye, and his ears have some special stitches in it. There's a little thread there. His ear has special stitches. And then his little pink nose. And I used Whisper floss for his tail, which it also is a special stitch. I forget what it's called. Let's see. The stitches in that is called Smyrna stitches. Smyrna cross stitches. That's in his ear, and I think it's also in his tail. The same thing. I think they're the same kind of stitch. Yes. No, double Leviathan stitch in his tail. So the double Leviathan in his tail, and I used Whisper, and yes, it was a little bit difficult, but I wanted him to have a fuzzy tail. And then the Smyrna cross stitch in the ear. But this is really fun, and you know, it's addicting. I want to make another one now. And then I just added some twill for the ties, just so you can tie. So thank you, Carla. I was inspired, and I'm so thankful that I made it. So I have a finish, and I was going to go back and look at my other videos. I know I had this finished my last video, I just didn't share it. So I finished this quite probably about, well, it was last month sometime. And this is Bloomin' Bouquet, number 2, Cheerful, by Jeanette Douglas. And it's all finished. And I used 36 count Mellow by Picture This Plus. Oh, I finished it February the 20th, this year. And it has Gloriana, Thread Gatherer, MPI, and Fancy Floss. And it's all finished. And I think I have a frame. I think I have a frame, but I don't know. It may be a little bit big. It would actually be pretty if I think it would require a mat. I don't know. I might need to still find a frame for it, but it's just all finished. So that's super exciting. If you watched my previous video, I had mentioned that I should at least have one finish each video. And that was, I was going to do it every 2 weeks, video every 2 weeks, but I don't know. It's just for some reason I can't seem to nail that down. But those are all my finishes. And so what I've been working on is I've just been, let me see if I can get my chair to go up just a little bit. I feel like I'm sitting on the floor. I've just been working with some whips that I felt like were close to a finish. This one I worked on, it's called This I Know by Plum Street Samplers. And I still needed to finish the leaves in this tree. And did I get done with them? This is the pattern. I've been stitching a lot of leaves lately. And I don't think, no, there's still 3 leaves left in that tree. But I did stitch some of them. And so I just have those 3 leaves at the top of that branch, and then the peacock and some stars. There's little bitty stars in and around, like right here by the house. Let's see, there we go. There's these little stars that I'll need to stitch. Everything else is done. So I should be able to have this done by my next Flosstube. I had stopped working on this to work on or did I work on this first? I think I worked on this one first. Or did I? Yeah, this is the first thing I worked on after my previous Flosstube. And I started working on, this is Love Abide by, I think, Lottie Da. And I was able to finish the leaves in the trees. This is another one that I worked on some leaves. So I got all the leaves in now. And I stitched the bird down below the limbs. And so I started working on the house down here. So I still have the words at the top, 3 more houses to go, and then this one will be done. And if I just really dig in, I can get that one done too. And I've had this one since 2021. And this is on 36 count antique ivory. Yep, I started this in 2021. So the next one I worked on, I've had this pattern. I started this one, Let Love Rain. I started this in 2024. And I only stitched just the little tree. It's in this book by Teresa Kogut. And this is, I did stitch on it a little bit. So I added the dog, the cat, and the gentleman. And I started this in the center. I usually start in the left corner, but because I'd had a couple of problems with my fabric not being right, during that time I had a severe problem with something. Maybe it was an Antong, and I was like, you know what? When I started this pattern, I was like, I'm going to start this in the center. So it's okay. I've been managing okay. And then finally, this is all the whips I've worked on. I did pick up my Consider the Lilies, and I worked on it and added the tree. And I still have to finish the bottom right. And there's still some left in the top of the tree, the stems. And I'll have that one underway, getting that one finished, because I've ignored it for quite a while. I started this in 2019, so it really needs to be finished. But I, you know, like a lot of my whips, I just need to get them out and work on them. That's all. I just need to work on them. And then I can share the finish, right? So that's all that I've worked on the last couple of weeks. I did finish Antong. I think I spent a lot of time on her because she's got these flowers here are over 1. And so I had to finish that, and then I finished in here, finished those little things, and I think I'd already stitched the Antong's name, maybe not. So that I worked on Antong to get her finished. I was just pushed through and get it done. So I did spend quite a bit of time the last few weeks working on that to get it finished, and I'm glad I did. A little bit of haul. I've purchased quite a few patterns. So because I struggled with not having much to stitch on for Valentine's Day, I picked up Country Cottage Needleworks, and I don't think I've ever stitched any Country Cottage. Can you believe it? I don't think I've stitched any Country Cottage needlework patterns. So I got Sampler of the Month February, which is a really cute pattern. I don't know if it's gonna focus. And then I also got Country Cottage Needleworks February mini town. And so I'll have those next year. Something to stitch. I also picked up some needles. This is from my 1, 2, 3 stitch order. I got some John James size 26 needles, which you've seen these, I'm sure. And then I also, because I know I'm gonna need some needles to stitch on my Miss Christmas Eve memorabilia, I picked up some beading needles, number 10. Hopefully that's the right size, but they're just really tiny, really tiny needles. And if I take them out of that packaging, I will lose them, so. But I've got a nice little needle book now that I can store them in. And so tonight I will probably take those out and store it in my new needle book. And then another pattern I purchased, this one is a PDF download from Etsy. I had found this website that I had never seen before. And hopefully, you know, I don't always print everything out. Surely I printed out the key. Did I print out the key on this one? I wanted to give you the name of the website, but I'm not seeing it. So I purchased a couple from her. I bought this little town, full coverage. And it's so pretty. It just seems like a happy little town. With all the pretty colors. Very pretty. And that one, I plan on starting that one soon. I've got to get the DMC. And then another one I bought, TAM, T-A-M Stitch Designs on Etsy. I also got Whimsical Village 8. This one is Whimsical Village 9, and this one is Whimsical Village 8. Another happy little town. This one has a lot more foliage, just a different setup, which is really cute. And of course the colors, the cheerful scene. It is full coverage too. This one is, let's see how many stitches there are. I was surprised. It doesn't really call for that many DMC. 200 by 200. So this one is actually smaller than the other one. So imagine the other one's, it's got quite a few colors. And then I went over to Happy Mood. Is that right? Happy Mood on Etsy. Bless This House. Happy Mood Point on Etsy. And the name of this pattern is Bless This House. And I just thought this was really cute. And this was also a PDF download. And I just love the colors in this one. Blue, the blues, and the reds, and the little kitty and the bird. It's super cute. And then I also purchased, this is another PDF download from Happy Mood Point, and this one is Love is Here. And you know, this one might be another pattern that would be a great Valentine's Day stitch. So I just want to make sure I have something stitched next year when it's Valentine's Day. But there'll probably be more patterns out by then too. So I think there's a few of them. I actually did purchase some Nashville Market patterns. I think I saw quite a few Valentine's Day patterns in there. I also picked up from Lindy Stitches. I don't know if I shared this in my last one. Hometown Neighborhood. I think I got this from Lindy Stitches. I'm almost sure I did. No, I didn't. I got this one from 123 Stitch. And so I also got the floss. That's right, 123 Stitch. So I got the floss. And then I'm also gonna stitch this on 25 count. It's just like a beige. And I had purchased this 25 count from 123 Stitch about a year and a half ago, and it was white. And I had purchased it because I was gonna do some punch needle, and then I turned around and I bought some weaver's cloth. I think it's called weaver's cloth, which is a lot of people was suggesting to use that for punch needle. And so I remembered that I had this in my stash, and so I just colored it this tan color. Let's see if I can get it to where you can see it. It's pretty close to the, this, I think this fabric, it calls for 25 count farmhouse. You can get this fabric also, in which I would have purchased the fabric, but I knew I had this 25 count. And so I think the colors are pretty close. Only this one in the photo is a little bit warmer. This is more on the cool side, but I can't get it to, I'm awkward when it comes to, but it's pretty close. I think this is probably even brighter. So, but it's okay. I think it'll, here, this is what we do, right? I think it'll be pretty. And so I'm planning on starting that right away. And I also went ahead and made a project bag for it. And I wanted to include, so if you see down at the bottom, there's these quilt blocks down at the bottom. I think she has several of these patterns, different houses, and I think she has quilt blocks in a lot of them. And so I wanted to make a project bag that had quilt blocks like it. So the pinks and the greens aren't really the right color. It's not the same color. But I was at Joann's and I was like, I'll just pick up some pink and green there. And so it looks more Christmassy. But I tried to do it like the pattern. So she's got the rickrack at the top and the bottom. And so that was a lot of fun. And then the inside, I did the brown, just like a tan color. So that was a lot of fun, you guys. I had fun with that. That was fun. And I learned something putting those quilt blocks together. Because if you look, it has the little, it has the square. It's not quite square, but it has the squares in the bottom, the square right here, which is not completely lined up. Because if you look at the pattern, which I could have done better. I don't know if you can see it, but in the pattern, there's this little tiny pink squares in the corners. But I could do better. I could get that more even to where it's more square. It really is about calculating your 7/8 and your 5/8, but it's all good. And so I'm going to start that probably tonight. That's so pretty. And that's everything. That's everything for this Flosstube. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for your comments from my last Flosstube. I really appreciate that. I love it when you guys comment, leave me a comment. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good couple of weeks coming up, and that you get a lot of good stitching time in, and hopefully we will be getting our patterns from the Nashville, I can never get that right, Nashville Needlework Market. I purchased 3. I'm excited to get those. So hopefully we'll be getting those soon. And thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you. All my longtime subscribers. I just love it when guys comment on my video. I get to hear from you. I hope everyone's doing well. And I will see you in my next video. I am going to be consistent and get a video in at least every couple weeks, at least every 3 weeks. So, alrighty, I'm gonna go and I will see you in my next video. Make sure, please leave me a comment. Okay, alright, see ya.